Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Scott Sports 101. I'm Scott Trella. We've got Browns news, and we're going to linebacker position. We've got the Browns' 2020 schedule being released, and I'm going to talk about all that in just a sec. But first, here's today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. Who is the shortest player in the first 70 years of NBA history to win the slam dunk contest? I'll have the answer later in the podcast. Going to Browns news, the Browns have built a roster that is loaded with talent, but there is one position lacking. There is a simple solution the Browns should act on. While the Browns have a top 10, maybe top 5 roster in the NFL, fans have yet to see that translate into wins. The 2019 roster was equally as strong, but poor coaching and a losing culture were too much to overcome after a disappointing 6 wins last year. The keys to the franchise have been turned over to, as you know, Andrew Berry, Paul DePodesta, and and Kevin Stefanski. Colin Cowherd talked about the Browns' offense for a few minutes on Tuesday's Dog Pound Daily show, which you can see on dogpounddaily.com, saying the Browns are loaded on offense and have 2 of everything. The Browns have 2 receivers in Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry, 2 running backs in Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, 2 tight ends in Austin Hooper and David Njoku, plus the Browns even have 2 quarterbacks in Baker Mayfield and Case Keenum. While the roster is strong, especially on offense, there is still one position that remains a concern, the linebacker position. Historically, analytics have not valued the linebacker position, but the concern depth chart may be the weakest in the NFL. After seeing Joe Schobert walk away and Christian Kirksey cut from the organization, that worry is justified. Mack Wilson was tremendous in 2019 for a 5th-round pick who was forced to start because of injuries. However, he is still a 5th-round pick who at times looks lost and was consistently directed where to line up last season by Joe Schobert, who is now in Jacksonville with the Jaguars. B.J. Goodson and Sion Taki are the next 2 linebackers on the roster who both lack athleticism and are more known for being run stoppers than dropping into coverage. Wilson is the only of 3 who has been an every down linebacker in the NFL. Now, the remaining depth chart consists of Jermaine Grace, Joe Tay Davis, and Willie Harvey, who will likely be special teams contributors, but at best. Rookie 3rd-round pick Jacob Phillips was a tackling machine at LSU, but he will also likely need time to develop as well. Now, like Goodson and Takahitaki, Phillips is known as a run stuffer and will need to work to be on the field in passing situations. Maybe defensive coordinator Joe Woods has seen vast improvement from Takatiaki and Wilson, and he knows they are ready for the workload, but it appears the Browns still need to address the position. Why not Nigel Bradham? Yes, there are a few character questions. Keep in mind, he was never charged on anything, but Barry is a familiar face, and Bradham at times has been a high-performing NFL linebacker. Bradham was ticketed for possession of marijuana in 2013, as well as having a loaded gun in a Miami airport in 2016. Additionally, Bradham was charged with aggravated battery in 2016. All these issues have been dismissed without jail time, and there have been no incidents since, and that's a good thing. Barry was a part of the front office in Cleveland, who reportedly had an interest in signing Bradham before the 2016 season, but he ultimately ended up signing with the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, Barry would be familiar with Bradham's character and play from his time in Philly. Before an injury in 2019 that slowed him down, Bradham recorded 88 plus tackles in each of the previous 3 seasons, which is more than any current linebacker on the Browns roster has recorded in one season. The fact Bradham is still available does not mean there are some character concerns, but a team like the Browns could sign Bradham at this point, with any little risk. Why not bring him in on a 2-year, $3.5 million deal with no guaranteed money? And if he becomes a problem, the Browns could cut him with no repercussions. Obviously, teams aren't knocking on the door for his services, and he could solve a major issue for the Browns. John Dorsey was famous for taking these risks, and hopefully Barry is ready to take one as well. And I hope he does, because I think we could use Nigel Bradham, and he would really, I think, solve a major issue at the linebacker. And hopefully there would be no problems with him. We will get to the Browns' schedule in just a moment, the Browns' newly released schedule. But first, it is time now to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. Who is the shortest player in the first 70 years of NBA history to win the slam dunk contest? And if you said Spud Webb, you are correct. Standing in at approximately 5.7 inches tall, Spud Webb is widely regarded as one of the as one of the shortest players in the NBA professional. I'm sorry. Of the shortest players in professional basketball, and basketball's history, However, he surprised everyone by winning the 1986 NBA Slam Dunk Contest. This achievement made him the shortest player to be crowned champion of the NBA Slam Dunk Contest. I will have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. Right now, as you know, the Browns' 2020 schedule for the upcoming 2020 season has been released. And if you turned on and watched the 2020 schedule released show on NFL Network, then you probably have seen it. And I'm going to reveal it right now. Beginning with Week 1, which is Sunday, September 13th, the Browns will be in Baltimore to take on the Ravens. And that'll be a 1 o'clock start. And in week 2 on September 17th, the Browns will take on the Cincinnati Bengals on Thursday Night Football. That'll be a nationally televised game. That'll be an 8:20 start. In week 3 on September 27th, the Browns will take on the Washington Redskins at home. And that Bengals game will also be a home game as well. So they'll be playing 2 back-to-back home games, a prime time and a 1 o'clock start one. In week 4 on October 4th, the Browns will take on the Dallas Cowboys at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, near Big D. That's also an away game. On week 5 on October 11th, the Browns will take on the Indianapolis Colts at home, and that'll be a 1 o'clock start. And week 6, which is October 18th, they will take on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that'll be an away game. Both of those are 1 o'clock starts for the Colts and the Steelers. And then in week 7, the Browns will take on the Cincinnati Bengals again, this time in Cincy, and that'll also be a 1 o'clock start. And that's week 7, which is October 25th. And then in week 8, which is November 1st, the Browns will take on which will be the new Las Vegas Raiders, and that'll be a home game. That'll be a 1 o'clock start, as well as the Bengals one on October 25th. Week 9, which is the 11-8, that'll be the Browns' bye week. And then after the bye week, the Browns will, which is on November 15th, they will take on the Houston Texans at home here at First Energy Stadium. That'll be a 1 o'clock start. Then on week 11, on November 22nd, which is I think the week before the week of Thanksgiving, the Browns will take on the Philadelphia Eagles at home, and that'll also be a 1 o'clock start. And on November 29th, the Browns will take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that'll be an away game that'll be in Jacksonville. Then on week 13, on December 6th, the Browns will take on the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. That'll be an away game. That'll be a 1 o'clock start. And week 14, December 14th, the Browns will take on the Baltimore Ravens at home on Monday Night Football, and that'll be an 8:15 start. And then, as I indicated, on week 15, the Browns will take on December 20th, 5 days before Christmas. The Browns will take on the New York Giants at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And then on week 16, 12/27, the Browns will take on the New York Jets at East Rutherford at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And the Browns will wrap up, and that'll be on 12/27, 2 days after Christmas. And the Browns will wrap up the 2020 season, regular season, on January 3rd, week 17, when they will take on the Pittsburgh Steelers at home, and that will be a 1 o'clock start. So that's basically the Browns' schedule, and I'd like to see the Browns go. I know I've said 12-4 the past last year, but this year I'm going to go 11-5. So we'll see. But that's the Browns' schedule, and that's just about going to wrap it up for this edition of Scott Sports 101. I'll be back with another podcast either on Saturday or Sunday, most likely Sunday. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.